They don't wear uniforms, they don't raise flags. But make no mistake, cartels are at war, and they're winning battles not with ideology, but with cash, bullets, and terror. While militaries aim to uphold state authority, cartels quietly erode it, replacing fear of the enemy with fear of the neighbor. The most unsettling part is that their methods mirror traditional military doctrine in ways that are shockingly effective but weaponized for crime. This isn't street-level chaos, it's calculated warfare. They utilize small unit tactics, combined arms, layered intelligence networks, and rapid strategic adaptation. Not unlike what one would expect from special forces. However, instead of serving national interests, these operations serve narco-trafficking, extortion, human trafficking, and parallel governance. Every move they make signals one brutal truth. Modern cartels are no longer just criminal gangs. They're hybrid war machines. Consider the tactical complexity. Cartels don't engage in set-piece battles like conventional armies, but instead dominate the gray zones. They execute coordinated ambushes on police convoys, nighttime raids on rival safe houses, vehicle-borne IEDs, and sniper attacks with a chilling level of precision. This is asymmetric warfare, evolved, a methodical bleed-out strategy designed not to conquer, but to control through intimidation, attrition, and psychological disintegration. Their command structures mirror military hierarchies with logistics divisions, reconnaissance units, frontline enforcers, and internal counterintelligence. Communications are secured through encrypted radio systems or burner phone networks, and their tactics are field-tested, debriefed, and redeployed. The weaponry only deepens the military parallel. We are not talking about pistols in alleyways, but Barrett .50 caliber sniper rifles, rocket-propelled grenades, fragmentation grenades, full-auto assault rifles, and increasingly military-grade drones. In 2023 alone, cartel drones dropped over a dozen IEDs on Mexican security forces. Their surveillance runs lasted over an hour, mapping law enforcement movements before coordinated strikes. These are not tactics borrowed from criminals. They're lifted straight from insurgency warfare manuals. The use of narco tanks, armored vehicles fortified with steel plating, gun ports, and battering rams, looks ripped from the pages of modern mechanized warfare. They deploy them in convoy-style attacks, backing up foot soldiers with mobile firepower. In Tamaulipas and Michoacan, entire towns have been besieged this way. It's not just force, it's theater. These convoys are psychological warfare designed to break community resistance before a shot is even fired. Where cartels diverge from conventional forces is where things get more dangerous. Their objective isn't national defense, it's revenue, billions per year, and that motive reshapes the battlefield.
Before we get to that, I need your help. I'm trying to hit 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and I need your help. So I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe and help me out.
They are not constrained by borders or laws. Their operations bleed across jurisdictions, exploiting bureaucratic lag and political hesitation. They do not need public support, they buy silence, using fear and corruption as their currency. Their adaptability is perhaps their deadliest weapon. Cartels adjust faster than most militaries can respond. When Mexican Marines increased urban raids, cartels shifted operations to rural terrain. When checkpoints were reinforced, they tunneled under them. When digital surveillance intensified, they returned to analog, employing lookouts with hand signals and whistles and reverting to tried-and-true human intelligence. Their success isn't in one overwhelming strike, but in relentless, intelligent pressure. Corruption is not a side effect, it's a core strategy. Law enforcement, military units, mayors, and even judges have fallen under cartel influence, either through bribery or fear. This level of infiltration is not random, it's systematic. It enables something few armies can achieve: occupying territory without fighting for it. Entire towns function under cartel law, with curfews, taxes, and punishment enforced not by ideology, but by the barrel of a gun. The U.S. military has begun a historic militarization of the southern border in response to these paramilitary threats. Combat aviation units like UH-60 Blackhawks and CH-47 Chinooks are being deployed on American soil for direct operational response, not for training or disaster relief. This represents a new era of border enforcement focused on warfare logistics and asymmetric threat response. The General Support Aviation Battalion, GSAB, now flies UH-60 Blackhawks and CH-47 Chinooks over U.S. soil to scan for cartel incursions. Chinooks provide brute force transport, while Blackhawks are used for medevac, troop insertion, and reconnaissance. These aviation units are paired with ground forces like the 2nd Stryker Brigade Combat Team, which uses armored Stryker vehicles to patrol and intercept heavily armed cartel operatives. The most dangerous threat is no longer on the ground, but in the sky, as cartels now deploy drones for smuggling, surveillance, and attacks. The U.S. Army is countering this with battlefield-tested radar and counter-drone systems, including signal jamming, directed energy weapons, and drone hunting drones. The Pentagon's new doctrine is to detect and neutralize these threats, with aviation units and electronic warfare teams tracking drone paths and launch points, often deep inside Mexico. A massive deployment surge has placed over 9,000 active-duty combat-trained troops at the border as of mid-2025. Many of these troops operate out of a newly established Joint Border Operations Command, which fuses operations between U.S. Northern Command, Customs and Border Protection, CBP, and the Department of Homeland Security. This operational fusion allows Blackhawks to launch based on radar pings and Stryker brigades to move in tandem with CBP raids. The intelligence confirms that cartels have transitioned from criminal syndicates to insurgent networks, using encrypted radios, tunnel systems, and weaponized drones. Their threat model now mirrors that of non-state militant groups. In response, rules of engagement now mirror overseas missions, with aviation units having the green light to launch under threat conditions. Forward operating bases have been established near high-activity zones in Texas, Arizona, and New Mexico to serve as rapid deployment hubs. The presence of these aviation units and their integration with ground forces ensures coordinated strike capability, and their surveillance feeds drive interdictions that dismantle trafficking logistics. The U.S. border has become a new hybrid battlefield, where every helicopter mission serves as both a shield and a sword. The evolution from National Guard assistance to full-spectrum military integration is clear. The Black Hawk is no longer just a symbol of foreign wars, it is a sentinel of domestic defense. The message to the cartels is written in rotor wash and steel. Your tactics have changed, so have ours. The Air Force is also fully deployed, operating as a domestic theater of operations to seal the border and intercept threats. This is a new kind of war fought with sensors, not swords. A special intelligence cell, the Joint Intelligence Task Force Southern Border, operates 24/7 at Davis-Monthan Air Force Base. Air Force intelligence analysts, including native Spanish linguists, work to find cartel networks, track their movements, and provide actionable intelligence to DHS and CBP. This is not about boots on the ground, but about eyes in the sky. Advanced surveillance platforms, such as U-2 spy planes, P-8 Poseidon aircraft, and RC-135s, are used to capture real-time imagery and sweep the RF spectrum for cartel communications.
Before we get to that, I need your help. I'm trying to hit 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and I need your help. So I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe and help me out.
The transport fleet has been transformed into a border logistics machine using C-130 Hercules and C-17 Globemasters to ferry personnel, supplies, and radar units to hotspots. When the threat level spikes, the Department of Defense can declare a National Defense Area, NDA, placing specific border segments under direct federal control. Within these fortified zones, the Air Force and U.S. NORTHCOM execute joint operations, including surveillance, interdiction, and force protection. The Contingency Response Force, CRF, a modular rapid response unit, is also activated to ensure the border mission never pauses. This is a machine that adapts faster than threats evolve. The results are the disruption of smuggling corridors, faster interdiction of human traffickers, and real-time tracking of cartel convoys. The Air Force isn't performing arrests, they're enabling. Their role is detection, delivery, and deterrence, ensuring that CBP never fights alone. The skies above America are no longer just a defense line, they are a command center. The US military is also deploying advanced technology specifically to detect cartel drones. The same tools used in overseas conflict zones are now scanning the skies above Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas. This is active defense, not preparation, because the threat is no longer theoretical. Cartels have embraced drone warfare as a daily operation, using modified consumer drones to smuggle fentanyl, scout border patrol routes, and surveil military infrastructure. In 2024, over 10,000 illicit drone flights were detected near the border, with most going unanswered. The Pentagon responded by shifting its posture and turning the border into a full-scale deployment zone for anti-drone warfare. The new approach involves portable counter-UAS systems like the Drone Shield Drone Gun Tactical, which offer real-time geolocation readouts and can filter hostile drones from friendly traffic. Border agents can now see not just the drone, but where it came from. There are also wearable counter-drone systems, such as the My Defense Soldier Kit, which includes a drone detector and a jammer that can disrupt or disable a drone's control link without visual contact. The military has adopted a sensor fusion model that combines micro radars, RF detectors, acoustic mics, EO, IR cameras, and real-time AI analysis for comprehensive coverage. This system assigns threat scores instantly, so human operators only receive high-confidence threats. Robotic remote detection, using retrofitted L3 Harris T7 robots, allows agents to scan for drone threats and map signal triangulation from a safe distance. Ground Air Surveillance Radar, GASR, units linked with signals intelligence, SIGINT systems, are also deployed to detect drones and locate their controllers based on their RF fingerprint. This ability to trace a drone back to its operator opens the door to broader interdiction missions and helps dismantle the operational network behind it. The final layer of defense includes both electronic warfare tools and kinetic options, such as high-powered directional jammers and anti-drone munitions. This new strategy of targeting the entire life cycle of a drone incursion is reclaiming the initiative from the cartels and making drone use risky, expensive, and unreliable. The deployment of these technologies also sends a powerful psychological message. We see you. The psychological toll on cartel operators, knowing their drones are being hunted by military-grade systems, creates uncertainty and forces a change in strategy. This is a new kind of border war, a testing ground for asymmetric warfare where cheap drones are met with expensive defense, and cartel ingenuity is met with military precision. The US military is also using older surveillance aircraft for border monitoring because they provide cost-effective, reliable, and broad-area surveillance capabilities that complement modern technologies. These aging but field-tested platforms, such as the P-3 Orion, RC-135, and U-28A, have been modernized with new intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance (ISR) payloads. The southern U.S. border is a vast and complex terrain that cannot be secured by a single solution. Ground patrols are too slow, and drones have limited flight time and payload capacity. These older aircraft are now returning to the skies to provide the broad, persistent, and cost-effective aerial surveillance needed for this volatile border. The battle is now, and the American border is no longer just a geopolitical line. It's a fault line between state authority and criminal power, national safety, and systemic collapse. Every fentanyl pill, every smuggled child, and every bomb-rigged drone is a warning flare. Mexican cartels are a continental crisis, and pretending it isn't a war only ensures we lose it.